Oh my goodness, the Denver Broncos just pulled off one of the most miraculous comebacks in NFL history. 4 straight wins, and 8 in a row at home, under Bo Nix and Sean Payton. This wasn't just another Sunday. This was a statement. A tale of two halves that turned into something unforgettable. If you watched it live, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That energy, that chaos, and that belief that it wasn't over. But before we dive deeper into this incredible game, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Alright, back to the madness. This wasn't just a comeback, it was NFL history. For the first time ever, a team down by 18 points entering the fourth quarter came roaring back to win. Out of over 1,600 previous situations, no team had ever done it, until the Denver Broncos said, "Why not us?" Even more impressive? They did it while battling injuries, fatigue, and the odds. Sean Payton warned everyone that this Giants matchup would be one of the toughest games of the season, and he was right. The Giants came in rested, fresh off extended time since Thursday night, while the Broncos were jet-lagged after back-to-back wins in London against Philly and the Jets. Yet somehow, some way, Denver refused to quit. They powered through exhaustion, travel, and adversity to claim their 4th straight victory, proving that something special is building in the mile-high city. It gets even bigger than that, because what we just witnessed was pure offensive chaos. The Broncos exploded for 33 points in the fourth quarter. Let that sink in. 33 points in one quarter. All that talk about Bo Nix hitting a sophomore slump? Forget it. All those critics saying this offense couldn't score? They just dropped more points in one quarter than some teams do in an entire game. And this isn't new, we saw flashes of it back against the Eagles. When Sean Payton gets this offense rolling, you can feel it. There's rhythm, confidence, and absolute belief. Sure, the question remains, how can Denver start faster? That's something to break down all week. But for now, this was phenomenal football. One stat from Parker Gabriel stood out: going scoreless and then putting up 33 unanswered points might be something we've never seen before in NFL history. And no, this wasn't garbage time magic. This was domination. The Denver Broncos outplayed, outcoached, and outclassed the New York Giants, and even overcame some brutal officiating along the way. That questionable pass interference call on Riley Moss? Still makes no sense. And Sean Payton's unsportsmanlike penalty for simply stepping into the huddle? Ridiculous. We've seen similar moments go uncalled just last week. Sometimes it feels like the ghosts of Bounty Gate still linger over him. But even with all that working against them, Denver refused to fold. The energy in Broncos country was electric, fans went from doubt to pure belief in minutes. Keep those reactions coming, because this team just gave us one of the most unforgettable fourth quarters in franchise history. The reactions during this game were wild. Social media was losing its mind. Halftime and even late in the third quarter, people were calling for changes. Some fans actually wanted Sean Payton to hand over play-calling duties. Others said Denver needed a new offensive approach entirely. But here's the truth, the Denver Broncos are in very good hands. Sean Payton knows how to adapt, how to adjust, and how to turn chaos into momentum. This is what he does. Time and time again, he figures it out when it matters most. So the next time people start panicking mid-game, remember nights like this. The Broncos don't fold. They fight. And the timing? Absolutely perfect. This incredible win came on Demaryius Thomas Celebration Day, and it couldn't have been more fitting. The last time Broncos country felt that same kind of emotional rush was during that legendary walk-off touchdown against the Steelers. This game carried that same heart, that same fire. It was painful seeing fans give up too early. Sure, frustration happens, but this team deserves faith. This victory took guts. It took resilience. And it showed something we haven't seen in years, a Denver team that simply refuses to quit. Down 13-0? No quit. Down 19-0? Still no quit. No bad calls, no deflections, no bad luck could stop them. This is a team with fight, and that attitude starts at the top. Sean Payton and Bo Nix have built something different here. Something strong. Something real. And if this is the kind of heart Denver is showing now, just imagine what's coming next. Broncos country, the future is bright. Heading into this matchup, the Broncos knew what was at stake, 4 of their next 5 games at home. And right now, things couldn't look better. Denver is riding an 8-game home win streak and sitting proudly near the top of the AFC West, with everything still in front of them. Meanwhile, the rest of the division is unraveling. The Chargers have already chargered their way into collapse earlier than anyone expected. Their season feels all but over, and Denver still gets to face them again, this time in the Mile High City. At this rate, the Broncos might not even need their starters in that one. Let's talk about those 2 losses this season. One of them came on a ridiculous leverage call that even national analysts admitted was bogus. Yet despite all that, the Broncos have proven they can go toe-to-toe with anyone. We just watched the Colts crush the Chargers, a team Denver already beat in Indianapolis. The message is clear, this Broncos team is for real. And Bo Nix? The kid just keeps silencing every critic. All that talk about him not being clutch in the fourth quarter? He won twice in the fourth quarter tonight alone. That incredible scramble into the end zone? Pure willpower. Then, after a questionable call gave the Giants life with 33 seconds left, Nix looked right at the pressure and said, "Bet. Let's go." And delivered again. That's leadership. That's poise. That's Broncos football. What we saw in that fourth quarter might just be the blueprint for this offense moving forward. When Bo Nix runs the hurry-up, he's nearly unstoppable, no hesitation, no batted passes, just rhythm and confidence. And while J.K. Dobbins was dominant early, the balance between the ground game and Bo's tempo-driven passing is what makes this offense truly dangerous. The formula is clear: establish the run, get that early rhythm, then let Bo Nix control the game at full speed. That's when the Broncos become terrifying. What a night, Broncos country. Your team is officially in control of its playoff destiny, and Bo Nix just delivered a fourth quarter that will be remembered for years. Forget the noise. Forget the sophomore slump talk. What we witnessed was a young quarterback growing into a leader. His fourth quarter performance was unreal, the kind of football that makes you believe again. Through the first 3 quarters, it wasn't pretty. Nix faced pressure, missed opportunities, and even had his own teammates letting him down with costly drops. Troy Franklin, Courtland Sutton, Nate Adkins, all missed key catches that could have swung momentum. Any other young quarterback might have folded. But Bo Nix? He didn't flinch. He stayed calm, trusted his arm, trusted his coach, and trusted his teammates to rally. And when the fourth quarter hit, it was like a switch flipped. The passes were sharper. The reads were faster. The confidence was undeniable. Nix went from struggling to surgical, leading drive after drive with precision and poise. That wasn't just good quarterback play, that was leadership under fire. This was one of the best fourth-quarter performances we've seen from a young quarterback in years. And it proved one thing loud and clear: Bo Nix isn't just the future of this franchise, he's the heartbeat of it. I've watched a lot of football in my life, from the days of John Elway to now, but what Bo Nix just did ranks among the most breathtaking quarterback performances I've ever seen. Maybe recency makes it feel even bigger, but this was pure, unforgettable greatness. The turning point of the game wasn't a single throw or touchdown, it was clock management and defensive execution at its finest. Early timeouts were gone, tension was sky high, and yet Denver stayed composed. Defensive coordinator Vance Joseph was in his bag. He dialed up pressure at the perfect time, disguising blitzes that completely threw off the Giants' rhythm. On one crucial snap, Justin Strnad sold the blitz, dropped back, read the quarterback perfectly, and came away with the interception that flipped the entire momentum. That was the moment the Broncos' defense transformed from good to great. This was the spark that reminded everyone of the legendary no-fly zone days, suffocating coverage, explosive pressure, and big-time turnovers when it mattered most. Massive credit to Justin Strnad, Dre Greenlaw, and the energy they brought from the first snap. This defense didn't just survive, they stole this win. Games like this are what define championship teams. For years, these were the matchups Denver couldn't close, tight, one-score battles that slipped away. Not anymore. The Broncos found a way to finish, just like they did against the Eagles earlier this season. And now, the stage is set. Next week, the Broncos face the Dallas Cowboys at home, another massive test, another statement opportunity. Bo Nix matching up against that Dallas secondary? Oh, it's going to be electric. The mile-high magic is back. The Broncos are proving, one comeback at a time, that they belong among the elite again. And then, there was Marvin Mims. What a performance. He was everywhere tonight, making key catches, moving the chains, and keeping the offense alive when nothing else was working. Early in the game, Mims was the spark Denver desperately needed. When everything felt stagnant, he was the one finding first downs, refusing to let this offense stall. But his biggest moment came with just 33 seconds left on the clock. Denver at the 23-yard line, tension through the roof. Mims delivered again, setting up the Broncos perfectly in field goal range before that brilliant play call to Courtland Sutton sealed the comeback. Marvin Mims was relentless, explosive, and fearless, exactly what this team needed. And Sean Payton? He owned it. He stood there on the sideline, calm and commanding, reminding his players, "We made our own mess, now we clean it up." And that's exactly what they did. Even at halftime, this team's spirit never wavered. Reporters mentioned that Payton's message was clear: stay focused, stay fighting. And one player shouted something that stuck: "This is just like the Raiders game from last year. One play can change everything." They believed it, and they made it happen. The Denver Broncos refused to stay buried. They rose, fought, and clawed their way to first place in the AFC West. And if not for one questionable call earlier this season, they'd be sitting atop the entire AFC. This isn't luck. This isn't a fluke. This is the start of something real. The future is here, Broncos country. The heart, the grit, the fire, it's all back. Next week, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Another battle, another chance to prove that Denver is no longer rebuilding, they're rising. The message is clear: we've got Bo Nix. We've got belief. We've got the mile-high magic back. Let's go, Broncos. Fire American football.